I'm here with Tomohiro Oda, a top climate scientist who leads work on climate and environment at the university's Space Research Association, a nonprofit organization chartered to advance space-related science, technology, and engineering. He also chaired the GEMM Asia Summit, an AGU and Optica organized summit of leaders in science, technology, and policy held in Singapore last year. Tomohiro, it's so good to see you, and thank you for being here.
Same here, Scott. Thank you for having me.
It seems that everyone is working on climate and environment these days. What do GEMM and USRA bring to the discussion?
Yeah, obviously climate also environments are global concern for humanity, so we need to address that. And they definitely, because the scale of the problem, we need to have a global collective approach to address the issues. But at the same time, because the impacts are localized or maybe it could be regional, so therefore we need to have the local or regional approach, which we actually presented at the GEMM Asia workshop. And we at USRA also we do global studies on climate environments, largely using satellite observation. And we also observer for the climate conference under the UNFCCC, and we facilitate many conversations on the climate mitigation using Earth observation. So we want to connect those global framework with regional and local ones.
You just chaired our GEMM Summit in Singapore. There was a lot of lively discussion and great presentation. Tell me a little about the discussions around the challenges and opportunities in climate and environment.
Right. Yeah, the GEMM Asia Summit was quite successful. We have more than 40 in-person participants from Asia, and obviously from India to all the way to Japan. And I heard a voice advocating for urgent needs for environmental data, especially tailored for the local regional issues. We just say Asia, but huge diversity over there, and there are so many challenges. And just taking air quality or water issue, the severeness of the issue can be very different by country to country. So everyone dealing with the national or regional circumstances. Although interestingly, they are measuring, doing the measurement under some common the global framework. And that is something we heard from the many participants from there.
Well, you in your other day job foster these kinds of relationships and partnerships at USRA. Can you tell me a little about that?
Yes. So we have we are a university consortium, so we have so many partners in the world, including many in Asia. Then our partner have a great expertise to address this climate environment issue. So we wanted to combine those forces, then tackling a big problem with everyone.
You're an earth scientist. I'm an optical scientist. At the GEMM Summit in Singapore, we saw people whose specialties were policy and law and economics. And the thing that I just found thrilling about the whole thing was the partnerships that were developed there. That the GEMM initiative is all about partnerships between people from heterogeneous scientific disciplines and other intellectual disciplines that have to be brought to the table. I love the Optica AGU partnership. Tell me a little bit about how GEMM fosters those partnerships and how optical scientists and earth scientists can get involved.
Right. So obviously first I would say the GEMM Asia was showing why this approach is so promising. We put everyone, a great mix of people in the same room to have a conversation, not just a researcher from natural science and also social science and the engineer also people from industry, the private sector, and even from government. So we put everyone in the same room and have a conversation. This is a huge accomplishment, in my opinion. And this is not the easiest thing to do usually. Then this is pretty unique capability for GEMM. Then this is promising that we can do, provide the forum or network to facilitate this conversation. This is great. Then also the combining people from obviously the optics scientists, also earth scientists. We are different scientists by discipline, but we do share the physics. And these think about the gas absorption or imagery collection. We obviously share so many basic principles for the physics. And the same for, I would say the same thing for the even non-scientists, the people from, for example, the government or even the law people we have in Asia, because we are tackling the same problem, but from different view angle. So this is probably a unique capability for GEMM to have an interesting conversation. So by facilitating the conversation, we can figure out what will be the next step, then what is the potential next area we can work together. Then obviously, probably same for everyone, we find lots of the key potential collaborators, and I like to say friends in this community. Then we are growing this GEMM colleagues globally, and by doing so, we should be able to place us in a better position to address the environment also climate issue there. And obviously, this is for same for everyone, but not just there are scientists, the optical scientists, or even people from the industry or private sector, government, obviously, and everyone's stakeholders, and everyone can be actors. Then obviously the optics photonics can make a huge impact on humanity. Then we need to be the actor for the climate change, also the environmental issues.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tomohiro.
Thank you, Scott.